From Sacred Heart University in Fairfield, Connecticut, this is The Pulse.
Hello, I'm Alicia Brown.
And I'm Karina Rodriguez. Thank you for joining us. This year, the Harriet Beecher Stowe Center in Hartford, Connecticut is celebrating its 50th anniversary. The center highlights the life of Harriet Beecher Stowe, a Northern abolitionist and author of Uncle Tom's Cabin. Take a look and find out more about this historical site.
The home of Harriet Beecher Stowe, a Northern abolitionist and author, is now a national landmark in Hartford, Connecticut. The museum opened in 1871 and was bought by Harriet's grandniece, Catherine Seymour Day, the founder of the center, and is now open to tours and events that facilitate discussions about slavery and the role of women. There are 3 houses to the site when you visit, each of which serve a purpose in creating a conversational, interactive learning experience.
The site is made up of actually 3 separate buildings, not only Harriet's home. So Harriet's home was built in 1871. She moved in 2 years later in 1873. And this house here in Hartford is actually the home that Harriet lived in the longest. It's the one location that she is for the longest period of time in her life. She moves around quite frequently. And so it's 23 years she spent in this home. She passes away in the house in 1896 at the age of 85, at which point the house will go out of the family until her grandniece, Catherine Seymour Day, and our founder, will purchase the home and start building the museum we know now. Our site, though, is also made up of the building we're currently in, which is the Catherine Seymour Day House. This is an 1884 Queen Anne style mansion that Harriet's grandniece will also purchase to prevent from being torn down. She had a passion for historic preservation. And then we have one last building on our site, which is our visitor center, which is the carriage house to the Catherine Seymour Day House. The carriage house was built in 1874, and it's where we have our gift shop now, where we greet visitors, and where the tours actually start out from. And so in the back room, we start tours by sitting down together as a group and introducing ourselves and what we'll be discussing. Because the tours are very conversation-based, we really like to get to know our audience, sit down, ask, where are you coming from? What connections do you have to Harriet's life? Have you read Uncle Tom's Cabin? Which of course is not necessary, but gives us sort of a feel for what our visitors might be passionate about and what in Harriet's life they could connect to.
The tour through Harriet's house facilitates discussions in each room, where groups are introduced to the tour with quotes from various influential people. There is a range of figures from Harriet's time, including Harriet, all the way down to the most recent popular figure, Barack Obama. The tour through Harriet's house continues until the dining room, the living room, Harriet's bedroom, the showcase room with the original copy of Uncle Tom's Cabin, the book Harriet is most famous for, as it played a significant role in accelerating the movement to abolish slavery and contributed to the outbreak of the Civil War.
Abraham Lincoln says to Harriet when they met for the first time during the Civil War, "So you're the little woman who wrote the book that started this great war." You know, I don't think she foresaw the impact that it did have, and that impact was huge. Again, it's a best-selling novel for several years, for decades. It was getting a lot of people who thought of slavery as a Southern issue, as something out of sight, out of mind, something that, yes, is morally wrong, but is not something that I necessarily need to speak up against. It's getting those people to really question their own passivity.
The book was translated into several languages, which they also have in the showroom. In the foyer of Harriet's house are books filled with thousands of signatures Harriet was able to obtain from women who shared her desire of the abolishment of slavery. And lastly, the tour ends in Harriet's kitchen, where they answer any final questions and wrap up the discussion. The Stowe Center grounds are open from 9:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. year-round and closed on Tuesdays. The Stowe House experience starts each hour beginning at 10 a.m. Monday through Saturday and beginning at noon on Sunday.
Wow, that was really interesting. You must have learned a lot.
I did. You should check it out sometime. If you find yourself in New York City and in need of something sweet, you might want to stop by one of the many Waffles and Dingus food stands or trucks for a taste of something out of the ordinary. Here's more.
Thomas. They sell like, there is a lot of places that they sell crepes and waffles. Many people, they confuse about both. What is a crepe? What is a waffle? They're like similar. He saw like something is missing right there, and because he's Belgian, he knows like how is a really good waffle. And he noticed that nowhere in the city or around the city can make good waffles as he can. He started doing waffles, putting more things on the waffles, you know, to make it like more commercial. It's just not a simple waffle, just a plain waffle. Right now we serve like big waffles. The company started about 10 years ago. They start with a food truck. The owner Thomas and Roxana, they started like selling waffles around the city, places like Brooklyn, Queens, right here in Manhattan. They went to schools, they went to ceremonies like weddings. Those waffles are very good because the dough himself is really good. We have like a commissary in Brooklyn where we made all our products. The ice cream we made ourselves. We made dough in Brooklyn. We put like crystallized sugar. I think that's like the touch on the waffle. When you buy the waffle and you feel like, oh man, this is so sweet. This is awesome. This is like the best waffle that I eat in my life. A very common phrase that the customer come here and they ask, what is dingus? It's literally stuff. Dingus in Flemish is stuff. And we use the dingus for the stuff that we put on the waffles. For example, I want 2 dingus on the waffle. That means it's 2 toppings on the waffle. The speculoos spread is gingerbread cookie batter. It's like the signature of the company. It's a traditional spread in Belgium, and they also bring the concept of putting on the waffles. So for example, we have a waffle called Throwdown, which is a speculoos spread, whipped cream, and cookie crumble. The cookie crumble is also made with the speculoos. It's speculoos cookies. Right now, the company is getting bigger. They're getting bigger and bigger every year, every month, every second. Right here, we're in Times Square right now, which means it's a very famous and popular company. We have like a really good product. That's why the company is right here, right now. We have another location in Bryant Park, which is like one of the places more that the tourists that come to New York go yes or yes. They always go to Bryant Park. If you go to New York City and you're a tourist, you gotta go to Times Square for sure. I mean, this place is awesome, and we have the opportunity to be here, representing like the concept of Belgian waffles.
Rehan Fadin, New York.
Next, we will meet a former Sacred Heart University basketball player whose life has been shaped by the game on and off the court. Former teammate Davon Barnett has a story.
What's going on? How you doing? My name is Christopher Jordan Evans. I'm from Stamford, Connecticut originally. I'm 26, and this is my humble abode in Bridgeport, Connecticut here. I'm I'm excited to be doing this, excited to be helping out and telling my story a little bit, and I'm excited to share my passion and love for basketball. Basketball for me is, and I know it's cliche, it's honestly more than a sport. And when I say it's been my life every day, if I haven't shot a ball, I've dribbled the ball. It's been some part of my life, whether it's physical, whether it's spiritual, whether it's made connections for me. It's been huge. It's taken me places I thought I'd never go without it, to be honest.
Playing basketball since the age of 5, Chris attended 2 high schools where he participated in both varsity basketball and football.
I did 4 years at Stanford High, so then I went on to do a postgraduate year up in Watertown at Taft.
Although he was a 2-sport athlete in high school, Chris was offered a full scholarship to play Division I basketball.
Sacred Heart was the school I went to first, played 3 years there. Unbelievable freshman year, all-league freshman. Sophomore year, I'd say I hit like a sophomore stunt. I didn't really know how to handle the balance of school, basketball, and my social life, and you've seen that I didn't have any improvement. My last year at Sacred Heart, I played on a 5-win team, which was dreadful.
Toward the end of his junior year at Sacred Heart, problems arose that caused a slight change in location for this young student athlete.
Towards the end of that year, I had my own trouble on and off the court, and Coach Latina being the guy he is, we had a man-to-man meeting about what the program needed, what I needed personally next year as a senior, and that's how I found Charleston, West Virginia, where I played a year at the University of Charleston, and it was honestly my most successful college basketball year. I think it was something that both the program and myself needed, and it was great.
After ending his college career strong, Chris was blessed to see the opportunity to play professional basketball overseas. I
played in Bremerhaven, Germany. I was there for about 3.5 months. Flight paid for, my own apartment at 24 years old. That was a dream come true.
Even though it was a dream come true, Chris's professional career was short-lived due to late season arrival and lack of team interest once the season was over. Chris knew it was time to move on from playing the sport he started at age 5.
At this point, I think I'm playing better than I ever have. It's just unfortunate that I'm not going to be playing ball for much more longer.
Since returning to the States, Chris has made his way back to coaching middle school and high school kids, which is where he will begin his coaching career.
Since I've left Germany, which is about 2 years now, I've been training kids in Stanford, all the way up to the Bridgeport area. I've even worked at camp last summer in Waterbury, trying to improve their skill. On the same token, I'm mentoring these kids on an everyday basis. I've been building some training business, trying to get myself back out there on the coaching standpoint, because right before I left for Germany, I was doing high school coaching, and that's a passion that I have.
Chris wants to eventually achieve another dream of becoming a college coach, but throughout this journey, he has a dedication to the well-being of his players both on and off the court.
One thing that I love telling a lot of these kids, that I look in their eyes and I can tell that they don't really see what I mean when what their parents or teachers mean when we say basketball is a tool. Basketball is not your life, it's part of your life. And you can use it to better your life if you use it as a tool, as these teachers and parents are telling you. So genuinely speaking, I don't care how much money you make doing it or do make doing it. You know what I'm saying? Do it because you love it and not because you're doing it for something else or someone else. And it'll be the greatest experience ever.
Stay tuned for part 2.
Coming up after the break, we will take a look at a legendary dairy store and take a tour of a luxury home away from home.
Hello, and welcome back to the Pulse Plus. Coming up, next is an event planner who designs balloons with a twist. No, it's not balloon animals. It's, as she calls it, couture. Let's take a look.
My name is Veronica Kelly. The name of my business is Balloon Couture by Veronica. We do everything from balloon decorating, balloon arches, balloon columns, centerpieces, floral arrangements. We now have rental items like chair sashes, tablecloths, runners, backdrop draping, anything that will make your event unique and custom. I started off in this business doing party promotions. I eventually interned at a wedding and event planning company, and I loved it. I was there for a few years, and I eventually became one of the lead coordinators. I shared an office with them and was pretty much a partner. And then I decided that I needed something of my own, so I took on more of the design aspect, and I specialize in balloons. This would be my 6th year doing this specific business. I've been doing event planning and coordinating for almost 10 years. I am a sole proprietor. I'm in business by myself. The advantage of me doing this by myself is that I make my own schedule. I do whatever I want. If I want to choose to go a different route with the business, I can do it and without consulting with anyone. I don't have any set employees. I do have independent contractors that I bring in to be event staff for the day. Most of my customers are women that like to do it themselves and just need a little bit of help bringing everything together. There is a small percentage of customers that come in and they sit down with me and they have no direction to go in for the event, and I pretty much step in and do the entire design for them. This might be one of my favorite designs. I had a lot of fun. The client allowed me to be very creative and trusted me to pretty much do whatever I wanted. She was a little specific with the colors, but I was able to have fun with this event. I don't know, it screams my personality, I think. It's very fun. It does match a bit, but not too matchy, a little bit glitzy. I enjoy doing what I do because it allows me to be creative. It's never the same thing twice. And it always, it feels good to know that people appreciate and like what I do. It's just, I don't know, a good feeling. I would say that if I could give someone starting a business advice, it would be to not be afraid to take risks, but make sure you take calculated risk. Don't just take a risk off of a whim.
From a small dairy farm founded in 1969 to being crowned the Disneyland of dairy stores, Stu Leonard's has grown to become a renowned local icon. Aubrey Kinlan and Hector Ramirez took a visit to Stu's headquarters in Norwalk, Connecticut for more on the unique supermarket.
With fresh produce, lively animatronics, tasty food samples around every corner, and even their very own little farm, Stu Leonard's is surely not your ordinary supermarket.
Stu Leonard's was founded in 1969 by Stu Leonard Sr. Stu and his family were milk delivery men, and up until the early 60s they had a great dairy farm right here in Norwalk. It was called Clover Farms Dairy, and he had an idea of creating a dairy store where parents would want to bring their children, so he founded Stu Leonard's. It just sold a few items, milk and yogurt and butter, real basics, and the kids had a great time, and it just grew from there.
That kind of differentiates us from all grocery stores. We try to make it a fun place to shop.
Stu Leonard's has been around for decades, building upon a great reputation with its community of many loyal customers.
We love it. The kids love it. We love it. It's kind of a therapeutic day for us to come to Stu Leonard's. They're 5-star all around. Everything's here. You don't need to go anywhere else. And the prices are fair. They're not overpriced. And you get everything you need here. So, and the meats are, the naked meats are, we're a big fan of that. No hormones, no pesticides, we're all about that. So that drives us to come here and do all our shopping here.
Speaking of their meats, we got a hold of one of the butchers working for Stu's and what his experience has been like.
I've been here full-time for 6, and for seasonal I was here for 1 year. It's been awesome. I started seasonal, like I said, in a garden shop. Then I worked my way up to part-time and produce, so I did a 1.5 years there. I wanted to push the issue for full-time, so that's what I did, and apparently meat rooms opened up for me, and I've been here cutting meat now for 4 years. I'm actually doing oven-ready filet mignon, just cutting it into steaks and preparing it for pre-packaging for the case, and hopefully we sell it all today.
We also talked to the vice president of Stu Leonard's to define what else makes Stu's the best dairy store in the world.
Great customer service, which we pride ourselves on here at the store. Treating people like we would treat ourselves. We have a sign over in our produce department: if you wouldn't bring it home for your mother, don't put it out for the customers. As long as you care about the products you sell and you know they're high quality and you treat people nice, they'll keep coming back. And if they keep coming back, you can work here for 32 years like I have.
But a fun grocery store and great customer service is not all of what Stu's is about. Stu Leonard's is making a positive impact in their community and for the environment with their initiative, Stu's Green Team.
So the Green Team is something that has been in place for over a decade now. It's everything from recycling all the cardboard that comes into our warehouse to having motion detectors on our offices so that we're saving electricity. You can go to our coffee department. We freshly grind our coffee beans every day, and if you're a gardener and you want those coffee grounds for your composting or your gardening, we'll give them to you for free. It's just a little way of us giving back to our communities, and also because of all the wonderful farm fresh produce and other things that we sell here, it seems like a natural fit that we're really eco-conscious.
And you can always count on their food stands for a quick snack while you shop.
One of the biggest things that we have happen really on a daily basis here at Stu's is our demos. We have a joke that we're going to weigh the customer when they enter the building and weigh them on the way out and charge them the difference, because everybody knows you come to Stu Leonard's to taste great food.
One thing is for sure, Stu Leonard's is your #1 spot to shop.
Kids love coming to Stu's to push buttons and pull ropes, and these animatronics really make it a fun shopping experience for families. And I think also on top of that, it's just a great family destination to come here.
It's a great experience. Everything's always fresh. Everyone's always friendly.
It's been a lot of fun. It's been very interesting, and fortunately, it's still fun.
Reporting for the Pulse Plus, this is Sacred Heart News.
Finding the ideal hotel can be frustrating. The Del Mar hotel chain in Connecticut claims to be the best because their hotel was built to feel like home. Take a look for yourself and see what you think.
Welcome to the Del Mar Hotel, where everyone is VIP. The Del Mar Hotel is an award-winning hotel that offers a top luxury experience, starting with European-style spa, a private marina, and a fancy restaurant.
Everybody's VIP here, so it's not about if they book through Expedia, how much they pay. Our rates are high, but it's not about how much they pay. Every guest is a VIP and we treat them as such. So we do provide a great service. That's what makes the great hotel. It is the ambience, it's the hotel, and it's beautiful, but every hotel sells rooms. But every hotel does not provide great service, and our guests recognize it, as do I, and our employees are simply the best. We have 500 foot of marina, which people can book seasonal, or they can come as transients for a few days with the boat. We do have spa, which is beautiful, with amazing products. We only carry 2 lines, French and Swiss, Valmont and BR. And we have a gym. In the summer we have bikes, kayaks, and of course the best, Greenwich Avenue shopping and dining.
Details, quality, luxury. and outstanding highly trained staff is why the Dilimar Hotel is the best in the area.
I am the sales manager for the hotel. I book room blocks and events here. Customer service is my priority. Details are very important. Knowing what the client wants is very important to me. Making the event special, memorable. Love my teammates. It feels like a family here to me, which is why I love it especially.
A hotel that feels like home is the secret recipe behind the Outstanding Hotel Award record.
Consistently every year we are on, usually it's a best of the Gold Coast, and 2005, 2007, 2008, pretty much every year or every other year. Travel and Leisure, top small hotels in the area, that was 2012 and on, and it goes to all employees actually because it's about the service.
For Sacred Heart University, this is Abdullah Hassan.
After the break, we will take a look at the life of a New York fashion stylist and take a trip to Disney Springs. Welcome back to the Pulse Plus. We will now meet Kathy, a fashion stylist from New York City who paved her way into the industry with no connections. Her passion for fashion helped her persevere and turn her dreams into a reality.
My name is Kathy Tejada, and I'm a product stylist at Barney's, New York. I went to School of Style. That was a workshop, how to become a stylist, and I got my associates. It took me, I have to say, 3 years. When I was hired at Barney's, New York, I was a junior stylist. Within the 5 months I was in Barney's, I was promoted as a stylist. I styled tabletop, which is products, and I styled men's and women's. But before that, I was building my book, working with different photographers. The job that I enjoy the most is at Barney's, New York, because I'm very good at my job. I learned how to style products, men's and women's. Before I didn't, like I was just a junior stylist, so I was just assisting. But now that I know, I could take that to the next level and continue my career and pursue much more. One of my perks for working at Barney's, New York is you get to travel. So I've been to Paris and Milan. I have worked there for a couple of, for 10 days, just going to different showrooms and style for their products. But the thing is, with a website, now everyone's shopping online. So everything's e-commerce. Versus going to the store, people are buying more online. Or going to their phone and just downloading the app and just shopping through the app. That's more common than anyone just going to the store. It's easier just to have one click and just make the purchase. My advice to someone that wants to be a stylist and want to be successful is just don't compare yourself to anyone else and just keep working hard. Intern different stylists. Just like maybe a personal stylist, maybe an e-commerce stylist, fashion stylist, and see which one you prefer from there. And once you decide, then then you go off from there. But intern. I have a website. So it's kathytejada.com. You can see all my work. What I'm working on right now is my personal headband line for kids. It's called Kaylee and Alex, and their website is KayleeandAlexNYC.com. And you can also follow them on Instagram on KayleeandAlexNYC. In 5 years, I see myself as a freelance kid stylist. That's my dream job. So I just want to style kids and just continue expanding my own kids line. You can follow me on Instagram, Kathy Style. Also visit my website, kathytejada.com. And please go visit my personal owned headband line, Kaylee and Alex NYC on Instagram. And their website is KayleeandAlexNYC.com. Thank you.
That was awesome. How was it working with a fashion stylist?
It was very insightful. I definitely got some pointers. Located in the center of Orlando, Florida, Disney has expanded to include a free, family-oriented waterside town with shopping, entertainment, and dining with a Mickey Mouse twist. We sent our field reporter, Patrick Arellano, to tour Disney Springs and get an inside look from some of our guests.
With an estimated 20 million visitors per year from around the world, the 120-acre village is split into 4 sections: the west side, the town center, the marketplace, and the land, and is home to over 150 venues. From Disney-inspired merchandise, unique boutiques, top name brand retailers, and restaurants, there really is something for everyone, young and old, at Disney Springs. Even Florida residents like Clara Figueroa enjoy spending their day here.
People come here for a lot of concerts, so that's always fun. The House of Blues is very well known here, so people come for that. I come here to just walk around. I go on the boat sometimes, and I go over to the resorts. That's always fun to do. I always bring my family here, so anytime anybody's in town, they usually want to come to Disney, so this is usually our first stop.
Live performances can be found around the waterside town with 25 different acts daily. You can enjoy a night bowling at Splitsville or catch a movie at the Dine-In AMC. There are 55 restaurants and bars around the property, such as the Boathouse, T-Rex Grill, Rainforest Cafe, Coca-Cola Rooftop Bar, and many more. But if you just like a snack, you can head over to Goofy's Candy Company for a bunch of Disney-inspired treats and sweets. Or check out the Candy Cauldron for some candy apples that are made magically in front of your eyes. After having a quick bite, you can visit one of the 110 shopping venues throughout Disney Springs. Some of the frequently visited stores include the Lego Store, Once Upon a Toy, World of Disney, and so much more. Unlike most family-friendly attractions, once the sun sets, the party doesn't stop. Over a dozen bars begin to reach their capacity, from Dockside Margaritas to Stargazer's Bar. The spring shows that Disney is also for adults. Next time you're in Florida, you can bring your family and friends to get your dose of Disney from 10 a.m. to 12 a.m. every day of the week. Consider Disney Springs as your next spring break vacation spot. And remember, here at Disney, just as Walt said, laughter is timeless, imagination has no age, and dreams are forever.
That's all the news we have for now. I'm Karina Rodriguez.
And I'm Alicia Brown. We'll see you next time on the Pulse Plus.